War on America, how Mark Carney got his revenge on President Donald J. Trump. Corruption, omega of this country, Canada. Many great things have happened for Canada since the rise of the United States. But unfortunately, many negative things have also befallen the United States. It's cultural overlap, some good, and then of course some bad. We're going to get into the far reaches of the right and the left here in Canada that has absolutely corrupted the United States, as we just watched, as so many of you have been asking me to do this video, and I wanted to do it. In fact, I have a whole rollout to showcase all Canadians and Americans, and I'm being restricted greatly in Canada. I think a lot of people are now as Canadians. I think if you haven't figured out this transition towards communism, we're rapidly approaching it under the leadership we have today. And in fact, what we've always had, Canadians can't seem to get past concepts that we are stuck on this, of all days, this Remembrance Day, celebrated by a poppy, Flanders Field, World War I. And folks, America doesn't celebrate it. They don't. It was removed in the 50s. Vice President Richard Nixon of the time, President of the Senate, he just finished being Senate leader, addressed this with then President of the United States Republicans, and they, for once, went with the Soviet Union of the time, went with Communist China at the time, that they were correct. They were correct that America, like them in one respect, equality of the person, couldn't, in good conscience, celebrate anything of World War I. And this is important for Americans and Canadians. You know what? Those who don't want to see it right now, it's your souls who are damned. Especially those claiming Christianity. It's your souls be damned with Jesus Christ and God. And this isn't me saying this. This is the perspective of the Bible and the teachings of New and even Old Testament. And what do I mean? What do I mean and what am I getting at? World War I was nothing more than the elites, the same elites who run Agenda 2021, 2030, 2050, and many more, dozens in fact, some spanning, like WEF, like the WHO, upwards of 700 years. 700 years. That's how far you can go back with these registries and these empire systems. Right back to Rome, and even some earlier than that. Canadians can't get by it because they're trapped. They're trapped in their own subjugation. No, it's not real. Couldn't possibly be real. Well, it is. America, in conjunction with the Soviet Union, even throughout the Cold War, one thing those two powers did is never allow the world to transition away from the allies of World War II. Do not mistake these allies for World War I. Americans get run down by filthy, low-life, degenerate, crown politicians of Canada, and Canadians get up and clap as Nazi sympathizers, as the worst of the socialists the world's ever seen in mass genocide. Socialists and fascists of those periods, created and harvested by these empires, these 9 kingdoms. Belgium's not off the hook. Japan of the time is not off the hook. Nazi Germany, we can throw Britain and France in there too. Because World War I, and why USA was not a major player in that, it was all about a fight between what are called the Crown Allies and the Crown Axis. And yes, it led to World War II. And God thanked above for the United States of America and even the Soviet Union and even Communist China for getting involved when they did, even though China was in a civil war. We can thank them for getting involved because equality of the person beats fascism and socialism combined in genocide and complete lack of human rights. Now, I'm not a supporter of communism. I'm a supporter of America and we, the people, born with natural rights. I will never be communist. I'll never support it. Currently, I have to follow it just to tag these pieces of shit in this post. I'm making that claim, and I'm releasing that publicly that I had to do that, as I had to follow Parkland Institute and the Heritage Foundation, none of which I'm involved with, but in fact I've done massive investigations that I will be releasing, showcasing this corruption of Canada from my home province, Alberta, over the United States. So many of, especially the northern states, California included, have actually been corrupted by Edmonton, Alberta. The mayor of New York is just another one of a long list of Edmontonian communists who encompass all of Canada as a federal party. That new mayor is just one of those. Just one of those. Good friends with Trudeau and the former mayor of Edmonton. Can't make this stuff up. Strong ties to the corruption of the Heritage Foundation that claims to be some alt-right group, nothing more than fascists and socialists, tied to the same lunatics as the Communist Party of Canada. Yeah, this is what's infected the United States. This is where the mayor of New York comes from. Evil of Canada, the Canadians can't let go of, refuse to in a massive majority. I'm literally hated by conservatives and liberal loyalists alike. These are the people that hate America the most. In Canada, you can have a Communist Party of Canada, but you can't have a We the People Republic. I'm working hard to get that. But Elections Canada and the Crown of Canada allows a republic under communism, but not a republic under We the People. Think about that, all Canadians and Americans. World War I was all about these 9 kingdoms and their NGOs, slaving blacks in Africa, subjugating them, putting them on a pyramid less than human, often, as well as all the Asian world, making them forced into drugs. India, all the Indians had, the farmers had to grow drugs. This was done over many, many League of Nations decades, and those empires in the same NGOs that are running strong in the world today. And when I say NGO, WHO, WEF, IMO, OIM, and I can go on and on. Agenda 2021, Paris Climate Accord, Agenda 2030, 2050. We can go on and on. There are so many that even many of folks who say they're awakened don't even know about. These are evil, old family monies that have been raining hell terror in pure satanic reality over mankind for hundreds and hundreds of years. In fact, some, you can even argue, thousands of years, going all the way back to Egypt and slavery. Some of this fell British North America, USA, and USA has expanded into its 50 states, led to the Civil War. America won again and again. We the people won and purged these tremendous old world evils from America, from North America. But yet Canada remains evil as ever, corrupting mass amounts of states and cities, especially in the north. Canadians are ball babying about ostriches being called that were Wuhan lab birds. Long before avian flu, I can't believe Canadians can't put this together. That you are in league, that Winnipeg lab are in league with Wuhan lab, where those birds came from the east and were dropped in BC, where you have a global media personality working for the crown, ball babying, creating a whole narrative to corrupt so many Canadians. And really, if you're anti-vax, and I get this thrown in my face, how could you support that narrative, those birds who are injected with human coronavirus and the mRNA vaccinations? Why would you want that out in the animal world with birds that aren't domestic to North America and don't have a genetic marker in North America? This is how foolish, gullible, and stupid so many Canadians are in mass majority. Just like your poppy and the knowledge of World War I, that nothing Canadians gave their lives for was in fact for any freedom at all, but to transfer assets, African-held, occupied assets from Germany, to be split between Belgium, France, and who? Great Britain. That's what Canadians gave their lives for. That's your poppy, to ensure drugs would be administered and delivered all over the world. Fentanyl exists today all over the world from the British Empire, from Opium Wars 1 and 2 and what they imposed and enforced and military enforced upon India as Emperor, Empress of India over many, many decades, spanning 70 years. Canadians don't know this, can't figure it out, can't do the work. All the way into World War I, these things were fought for and people gave their lives for. World War I is nothing to celebrate. It was never for freedom. It was for the wealthy elite and all the agendas we see today and the absolute corruption of the United States and the Democrats of today. It's not all of them. We've seen Democrats come as they're ending the lockdown. You're going to see that in the hours ahead in the next 2 days. You're going to see more on Thursday as Americans are fighting back. We, the people, the oldest constitution of its kind, longest running in the world, wins every time. Americans never lose. The people always win in majority. They can sometimes stray off the path, but they always come together in the end, and they always win. They always win. And God bless America, President Trump. There's so much I've achieved in the last 24 hours. Tagged my friend Richard Albert, but realistically, Grok AI, I've already uploaded to Grok the truth of Prime Minister and Premier, created right here in Canada long ago, the original design for the entire corrupt world. Prime Minister and Premiers, created in New France, Quebec, then British North America as the French lost the 7-Year War, and then the British Empire imposed all of that. All of the documents are now in Grok. The greatest source of American academia is now everything of Grok. Grok is blown away. Grok has a new narrative of who I am and what I've been doing as what I'm now called archaeologist of constitutionalism, a boots-on-the-ground guy who gets in with his hands and gets it done. That Parliament of Quebec, those pictures uploaded, have transformed the AI world, and at least the Webster, at least with Grok AI. I hope the rest does, but we're rapidly seeing the change in Facebook here in Canada. I'm barely able to share now. Can only do a couple posts a day, very limited, my reach limited. And of course that's censorship, because Canadians are moving into communism. Many don't see it yet. Many are in denial. But all you are suffering, so many of you who see it, who are living it, so many of you out of work, all of you loyal to me, I know, we're all going to be suffering. We're all going to be suffering. And the masses will wake up. Will it be too late? Will it be like the Holocaust of Nazi Germany? Kind of too late? Maybe. With our mass immigration and everything else, it may be too late. I don't know. I'm fighting with everything I have. I have so much to share, so much to do, and I'm going to do that. But we got to play in the system that we're being forced to go through. I warned everybody. We weren't getting out of this easy. We're not going to be saved by the United States without putting anything of us into it, without suffering. And that's going to happen. I see it. So many of you are seeing it. You know it. And it's painful. It's sad. It's sorrowful. But I'm telling you what is out there on the web now. What I've had the great privilege of unlocking as an average prairie Joe Jane that has no business ascending to that kind of level of knowledge and having the publications. I almost want to cry. I almost want to cry, but I'm not going to cry. Because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful day, even in all the hell of what Canada is, what Canada's done. I can tell you, America's waking up to it. Americans are winning. The government in power is winning. And they're changing minds, changing the other side. And Americans stick together. And they're going to win this. Does that mean it's going to be a win for Canadians? Maybe not. But the stronger America is, the more higher the chance that we're going to see this country get fixed. And I see that as Canada, the 51st state, the only fix. But we have lots to go through, lots of socialism to deal with, lots of evil right in this country, bar nothing in the United States, even with the mayor of New York, who absolutely has strong ties to 20 years of communism out of Edmonton, Alberta registered, and those evil players that have infected so many cities globally, and sadly some major cities and states in the United States of America. But I have tremendous faith again that the people of America are going to win. And even that side of Bernie Sanders that's waking up and crossing the floor to come to an agreement with GOP and the Republicans is a beautiful thing to see. And it gives me great hope for universal health care and getting the job done. So folks, share this video. I know people don't know what I'm talking about right now, but I have all the documents. These documents that Grok has confirmed. I've got it all my work that is just so explosive, so groundbreaking and changing. I've changed AI in America. I've changed AI. AI is going to never answer questions the same way in relation to Canada and the baloney of the crown. So God bless everybody. High hopes. We're winning. America's winning. It's just sad what Canadians are going to go through in the next few years. It's very sad. But that's my video. God bless. Share, share, share. It's all about truth. I don't create narratives for political leanings. I have one leaning. Canada, the 51st state. One political party that I most certainly aspire to be. That's GOP. The new MAGA America. That's where I affiliate, what I aspire to be, what I want to bring to all Canadians, all First Peoples. And I know we have a long way to go, an extremely long way. And I know even those who are into what we're doing still can't wake up to all of this, but I'm going to work very hard and diligently to present it very well to all of you and show you the great lie of Canada before Canada, what we are in the world, that we're the evil. We really are what created Nazi Germany. We really are, in our entire history, what war on America started, where USA had to go to make itself, the worst war they ever had, their oldest enemy. That's us and our crown system. We are the root of serious evil in this world, keeping it alive. We're not alone, but we're the oldest design that's worked very well, creating the worst horrors the world's ever seen. All of that of Europe is the Canadian model. And it's sad, it's scary. It spans the 150 years before Canada. We effectually changed Europe. And I can't wait to show it to all of you in tremendous detail. But I can promise you, Grok AI has all of it explicitly and narrates differently about Canada now today. Try it. You'll see. God bless everybody. Share, share, share. Get this video out there. Learn the truth of Remembrance Day. World War II was the war of freedom, led by the Soviet Union and absolutely the United States of America. Other than that, not really anybody else. That's my video. And I want to close with, we are blessed by God that they had won that and they had become the powers of the world. Absolutely the United States of America, taking nothing away from anybody else. But if it wasn't for the United States, this world would be an ugly, dark place. God bless. Share. Bye now.